1580 103.3 WPKY. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk. And I've got a guest already in here with me. We're going to get jump started bright and early this morning. What do you think about it, Mr. Martin?
I think that sounds like a great idea, and there's no better way to do it than the two of us sitting here talking about a kids' camp.
Well, you know, I really and truly, I thought I was going to be able to greet you with sunshine, and that's not what we've got. The forecast this morning said sunshine, sunshine. I'm not seeing it.
I don't know. There's some days I feel like I'm driving with a cloud over my head, so maybe I brought it. I don't know.
Well, why did you do that? No, it was supposed to come. You know, this morning they said, you know, the sun was going to peek out from behind the clouds, and it just never made it. It tried to for a little bit this morning, but then it just.
I was shocked how cool it was outside this morning. I was expecting to get blasted with some humidity.
Of course, don't get me wrong. It's still dark when I get out. So, I mean, I know that, you know, it's going to be a little cool. But, man, it was actually a little chilly this morning when I got out. I was like, hey, where'd that come from?
Yeah, it was kind of nice, actually, based on what the rest of the week holds, I think.
Well, it's not bad at all because really and truly, I think before the showers moved in, it was already supposed to be like your last chance to get any mowing done this week. And it looks like you better hurry up on the mower because you don't have very long.
Looks like you may have an hour.
Well, yeah, and that may be pushing it. Looking at the American flag flapping over there, and I'm not so sure you've even got that. Dad, get off the mower, go put it back in the garage. You're about to get wet. No, we actually watch it come across the ridge behind our house. And my dad lives my mom and dad. Mom lives there too. It's not just dad. But it's like a mile down the road from me. So I can watch the storms come across the ridge and come down the road. And then, you know, I can call him and say, hey, better put the mower up. Dad, get off the tractor. You're about to get drenched, Dad. Dad, tornado, get off of it.
Just get out of the way.
Yeah. So, I mean, we kind of see that coming in the mornings. But I'm not used to this yet. So I'm up here in clouds and no sunshine to be had. But you're going to have it this weekend, though, which is good.
Yes, I'm looking forward to having it this weekend. We have graduation for my daughter this weekend, so we need sunshine. We need good weather so we can have it outside instead of inside.
Well, and you've got Camp Sunrise coming up as well. Now, what are the dates on that?
June 13th is Camp Sunrise. It'll be held at St. John United Methodist Church in Hopkinsville. Okay. And we have been doing this. I've been here 9 years. It had been going on since prior to my arrival here a few years. And it's just a very special day for kids for ages 6 to 17 who have lost a loved one in the last couple of years. And it's a safe environment for them to be able to express themselves. It's a very cool experience.
Well, and they're around other people that have, you know, are going through the same thing.
That is exactly what makes it so special because, as you well know, kids in school, you see somebody crying or you see somebody upset, you're liable to get made fun of or punched or whatever. Yeah. It's just not a place where you can go share those things. But when you come together and there's a group of kids who've all had a similar experience, it's an amazing day. There was a couple of years back, and I love this story because it expresses just what we just talked about. That safe environment. That year we did a 2-day camp, and the second day we were at a horse camp, and I was bringing kids back to the office or back to the church, and there were 3 little guys sitting in the back seat of my truck, and they were, I don't know, ages 7 to 9, somewhere in that vicinity. And, of course, they didn't want to listen to my music, so I had tuned in theirs. And,
sounds like my truck. That sounds very familiar.
Exactly. So, but I listened. And I could hear them talking, and the one little guy who was probably 7, 8 years old turns to the other one and he goes, I lost my grandma, that's why I'm here. Why are you here today? And the other little kid was like, well, I lost my dad. And then they turned to the third one, and what happened? And I lost my mom, and you guys, I miss her a lot, and this has not been a fun thing, but today's been fun, but losing her every day is not a good thing. And you hear these kids having a conversation, and I paraphrase that because I didn't talk how 7 and 8 year olds talk.
Well, you're not cool like they are.
You're exactly right.
Tell it the truth.
The cool went out the window a long time ago. But it was just amazing because you hear 3 young guys having this conversation. And I mean, I lived a sheltered life. My grandpa died when he was 101. So,
oh, wow.
I mean, still had his right mind. Just went to sleep one night and that was it. So all of my grandparents into their 90s. So I didn't have that person that was close. My parents are still living here in the Hopkinsville area. But I didn't have that person that I lost when I was a young kid like that.
Right.
And so to listen to them and to know the impact that it made on their life, but they carried on a conversation. It was a good 10, 15-minute drive back to the church. And they carried on this conversation the entire time, and then it changed to baseball or something,
Well,
and they went on from
best,
there.
They're the best counselors with each other,
Oh my
with
gosh.
just being in the same room.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it takes is a kid just needs another kid that they know may be going through the same thing, and they may not even have to talk about it. They just need to play and to be around each other.
The things that we have seen, there was another situation that happened. When the kids arrived in the morning, they were asked to go up to a board. This was last year, but they were asked to go up to a board up front, and there had been like a mural on that board, and they were asked to add the name of the loved one that they had lost, and if they wanted to say anything, they could, and if they didn't want to say anything, they could come back and sit down.
Right.
And so this one little guy gets up, and he gets halfway to the board, and he just breaks down.
Oh.
He's just lost it right there. Before any of the camp counselors could react and get to him, there were 3 other little kids that went and grabbed him and hugged him and walked him up to the board. And he was able to put the name down and turn around and come back. And later in the day, he began to open up and talk about losing his loved one and what it meant to him and how the struggle was and all of those kinds of things. But the environment is so amazing. We split off into groups based on age. You know, we're not putting 17-year-olds with 7-year-olds. Totally different world.
That would
there.
be fun.
Yeah, yeah, for the 7-year-old. But we group them together in age groups. They have different classes that they go into. We have a music therapist with Pennyroyle Hospice who was here like last month with Kenna Hudgens. And so she'll meet with a group of them at some point throughout the day. She'll meet with every group throughout the day. There's another portion where one year they were doing a mask, and like a hockey mask, and they were asked on the outside of the mask to write what you want people to know about you. And so you had kids writing things like, you know, I'm a great soccer player, I'm nice, I'm happy, I'm this, I'm that, all these positive things. And then they were told to turn the mask over, and on the inside of the mask where no one could see, to write the things that no one knew about them, but that bothered them. And so you had kids writing things like, I miss you, Mom.
Right.
I love you, Mom. I wish I could hug you one more time. Dad, I wish you could see my baseball game.
Well, even sometimes when you're writing the name down, when you were talking about them walking to the board, sometimes knowing somebody that you lost somebody and actually physically writing their name down, that can be a really powerful thing.
Oh, yeah. There's healing and cleansing in all of these things and all of the activities throughout the day. They're headed up by the 2 social workers from Pennyroyle Hospice, and then a lot of our staff is there throughout the day just to coordinate and help. But yeah, kids, the healing process is so different for every individual, and as you well know, there are times you'll hear something or could even be a smell or something that just sets you over the edge. You're not even expecting it.
It could be anything. There are times when, you know, I do that a lot at my house when there's certain things, even certain tools I can't pick up without thinking about my dad. Now, I am fortunate enough, my daddy, I am a daddy's girl who lives a mile down the road from me, and I follow him around to this day. But there are tools that I pick up. You know, there's certain things. There's certain foods. If I make certain food, I can't make chicken and dumplings without thinking about my dad.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's, you know, pie. You always think about your grandma, either I do.
Yeah, I'm in my 50s, and there are things that, like if we go, my daughter rides horses, but if we go to the barn and she's ridden and Dad wasn't able to go, then I'll call him on the way back home and tell him how good the horse was or how Savannah did or other horses that we saw the trainer ride, that kind of thing. There's those things, and for these young kids to lose that.
I can't imagine that.
At 6, 7, 17, whatever. There's not a spot in there in those age frames that losing someone important in your life does just not stand you on end. You can't help it. I mean, when Grandpa died at 101, and my God, I was 40 years old by that time, I still thought he shouldn't have gone, you know? So for these kids,
I don't think we're ready to lose someone, not if they're loved ones. And if you're used to talking to them, like you were just saying, on a regular basis, that is a major lifestyle change. That's not just I lost someone close to me. That's now a lifestyle change.
Well, and I'm in the middle school in Hopkinsville frequently, but we have conversations with teachers who will tell you that they see a difference in the children no matter what age group they are. It can be the grade school all the way to the high school. But when they have lost a loved one, no matter what the circumstance is, it's tragic. And when they've lost a loved one, there's a difference in the behavior. Some kids act out, some kids go into a shell. Some kids can handle it and just keep on cruising, but it's different with different children, and that's what makes our day so special. Every one of those kids is met in a format that it's somewhere along the way they can open up and share.
Well, see, I think that's what's important is you give a kid a safe environment. I think a lot of times they want to bounce back. They want help. They want to get out of it. They don't want to live in that funk forever. But just giving them an avenue, and that evidently is Camp Sunrise. And of course, that's in Hopkinsville now, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's in Hopkinsville. It's at St. John United Methodist Church. You can call our office, which is 270-885-6428. I'll say that again more slowly, 270-885-6428. And we can get you registered. Registration does close June 3rd, but the best part of all, the camp is free.
I just started to ask you, so how much is registration? And it's free.
It's free. We feed the
that.
kids throughout the day. They arrive at 8:30. They leave around at 4:30, sorry. They leave at 4:30, and we take care of them throughout the day. There's snacks. There's always a pizza party at lunch.
Hey.
There's times where they have free time and go outside and compete in little games and that sort of thing.
Well, and sometimes that's what it takes to
gosh,
almost bribe a kid. Sometimes I bribe my kids. I'm not gonna lie. I'm either bribing my kids or I'm threatening my kids. It's one or the other. And CJ is nodding his head in the living room right now. He's like, "Yeah, mom does that." But if you tell them, look, we're gonna have a pizza party, you get to go and have games, you get to play with other kids. I mean, sometimes getting them out the door, especially when they're upset and they're just kind of in that mode, they don't really want to function.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you can bribe them a little bit and say, hey, there's a pizza party, there's going to be other kids, you get to play ball, you get to do these fun things.
Get to play an instrument throughout the day.
Right.
With the music therapist, she brings in instruments for the kids to play. It is so cool to watch a young person, or any person for that matter, but a young person some of them write their own songs for their past loved one. That just allows them to kind of cleanse, We have
creative kids around here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and it's amazing to see that come out. And so they have all these different opportunities. It might be art, it might be the music, it might be talking, it might be a game where they're playing and just interacting.
Well, it's constructive too. That's the big thing right there is the outlets that are constructive outlets.
And so it's a day that it's amazing to me, and I go and I'm like the biggest crybaby in the world, so they have to kind of keep me at arm's length. But to watch the transformation of things that have happened is just incredible. And for some of these kids, it becomes their special day because they feel like kind of in a way they've reached out and been able to touch that person who's gone for whatever period of time. Yeah. And at the end of the day, one year we did like a balloon release, and as the balloons go up,
it's like
and
the light switch.
Yeah, and I don't know what there is healing about balloons being released or butterflies or those kind of things, but I swear to God there is. And I'm the biggest redneck in the world, and I would have argued that point until the cows came home.
I don't know. I've got this friend named Bubba.
But it is actually a healing process, and it's amazing to see what takes place.
Wow. All right. Give us those dates again and the registration where they can get registered.
June 13th is the day of Camp Sunrise. It will be held at St. John United Methodist Church in Hopkinsville. You need to register by June 3rd. It is free. Registration deadline, though, is June 3rd, so we can plan and order enough supplies for the day. And then all you need to do is contact our office, which is 270-885-6428.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us. Hang out. We're going to switch gears here in just a second. I'm not letting him go anywhere. 1580 103.3 WPKY.